What's the crack, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Cards everywhere here. Today I am bringing you another weekly league deck profile. I've gone with another Statue of Liberty deck, quite a bit different than yesterday's tiny one. So I'll give you a quick rundown of this version and we'll jump into a game. First up we have the Ultra Fusion, the Renaissance. On the draw, your arts and culture cards, wherever they are, gain 10 power until played. And also on the draw, if your deck has 6 or fewer arts and culture cards, your arts and culture cards, wherever they are, gain 18 power until played. So that's a 28 boost to all of our arts and culture with this card. Next up we have the Fool. On the draw, your tarot cards, wherever they are, gain 16 power permanently. Very cheap and very good card. Next up, the Tower. On the draw, all cards in both players' hands lose 10 power until played. On the play, if you're winning the round, a random card in your hand gains 100 power this turn. And also on the play, if you're tied or losing the round, a random card in either player's hand gains 100 power this turn. Next up we have the Hierophant. On the play, if your deck has exactly 3 tarot cards, give them, wherever they are, 27 power permanently. Next up we have Archangel. On the play, 2 random cards in your hand gain 25 power until played. And also on the play, a random card in your hand gains 30 power permanently. And last we have a tech card, Paxikirum. On the draw, for every history card in your opponent's deck, this card gains 5 power permanently. I have been seeing a lot of Ancient Egypt and Unruly Ruler cards running around, so I've chosen to put this in the deck, but obviously you can put in something stronger if you feel like it will do better. Next up we have Shakespeare's First Folio. On the play, 2 each of your random Weird World, Documented and Battle cards, wherever they are, gain 25 power permanently. Next up, Rat King. On the draw, your cards in hand gain 13 power permanently, and this card loses 13 power permanently. But this card also gets the boost from itself, so it actually loses nothing. Next up we have Siege of Baghdad. On the draw, your opponent's legendary cards, wherever they are, lose 25 power for 3 turns. Next is Identity Theft. On the play, for every legendary card in your opponent's deck, up to a maximum of 10, your cards in hand gain 4 power until played. This deck actually does quite well against other players playing Identity Theft, as we don't run too many legendary cards. Next up we have Magna Carta. On the draw, your epic and rare cards, wherever they are, cost -2 energy until played. And on the play, your Declaration of Independence and Universal Declaration of Human Rights cards gain 20 power this turn. This is a good deck for managing the energy, as it is not too high in this deck, but it can run quite low towards the end of the game if it does go to round 5. And the last of the history cards is Rannoch Colony. On the return, if you lost a turn, your opponent's cards, wherever they are, lose 10 power until played. And if you won the turn, your cards, wherever they are, gain 10 power until played. So unless you end up tying the round, this card will give you a benefit. So I think it's quite a good card. Next is the science cards. First up, the Fusion, the Brain. On the draw, your cards, wherever they are, gain 23 power for 2 turns. And this card locks for 2 turns. And then on the return, an opponent's random card in hand locks next turn. Next up, I'll be trying out this new, it's quite a new card anyway, the Set of All Sets. At the start of a turn, this card gains 7 power permanently, and another random card in your hand gains 7 power permanently. So we do want to be holding on to this card for as long as we can. Next up, the Door to Hell. On the draw, your cards in hand burn 50 until played, and gain 50 power this turn. Next is the Statue of Liberty. On the play, if your deck has exactly 6 science cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain 21 power until played, and then repeat for each album. Next up we have another new card, the Grim Reaper Paradox. On the draw, if it's round 1 or 2, your opponent's cards in hand lose 32 power this turn. If it's round 3 or 4, your opponent's cards in hand lose 16 power this turn. And if it's after round 4, your cards in hand lose 16 power permanently. So hopefully we won't get to use the negative effect and win in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And last up, we have the Linux kernel. On the play, if played next to any science cards, your science cards, wherever they are, gain 15 power for 3 turns, and repeat for each album. Then, on the return, if your deck only has science cards, your cards, wherever they are, gain 10 power for 3 turns. You can also push Jekkar in place of this card, or another good science card. I've just chosen to go with this one, as I do quite like the card. So guys, that is the deck. Don't forget to let me know what you think down in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're down there. And the deck code is in the description, along with my referral code if you haven't used one yet. So, looks like we found the game fairly quickly. We'll give the opponent a hello. And we will begin. So I think I'll get Rat King back around quickly. The Shakespeare. And the Tower is boosting one of his cards, so we'll play the Renaissance. So I don't know what the opponent is playing here. It could be some sort of... Oh, it'd be a Fearsome Flyers. That's interesting. I haven't actually seen a Fearsome Flyers deck in action yet. So we'll have to see how it does. There's our Paxarum. It's going to be useless against this deck. So we are winning. So we get the Tower out. And we'll play the Linux kernel in the middle to give our Arts and Culture and our Science cards the 15 power boost for 3 turns. So it looks like the opponent has some space cards in the deck. He has chosen to run the Sun, so maybe it is a high energy deck. But we'll have to wait and see. There's our Door to Hell. Not the best turn to draw it. So we'll get it out of hand. And we'll play the Archangel in the last slot, just to give our other cards the boost until we play them. So the opponent is playing some Marsupials as well to boost the Fearsome Flyers. I would be quite interested in building a deck similar to that myself. I've never really tried them out. So maybe they could be good. So there we have the Brain. So we get the Hierophant out in front. We'll play Rano Colony, and we'll put Paxakirum in the last slot, as it is a useless card this game. But it's still 98 power for 4 energy, so that's nothing to scoff at the moment. So let's see if 306 is enough, not even close. So the opponent is well ahead now. We'll have to wait and see if we can pull back. If not, we'll just play our booster cards instead. There's the Fool. So I think we'll play the Fool, the Statue, and then the Siege for a 3-4-1 turn. I'm not sure why the opponent has chosen to play only 2 cards. It has allowed us to catch up quite a bit. I see that card gives him 65 power for the next turn. So I don't think we will win this round. So I'll just play some of our weaker cards for a 293 plus the boost from Shakespeare. It is not enough to make a comeback. But we do lock down one of the opponent's cards. The opponent does get a 5 energy boost, so we will be able to play his cards more freely in the next round. There's our Grim Reaper again, reducing all of his cards by 16. So I think I'll play the Renaissance to give Arts and Culture the Kernel boost. So his deck seems to be win around, lose around. So I'll try and save some of our stronger cards for the next round, as this round is pretty much guaranteed already. There's our Door to Hell. So again, I'll still play my weaker cards. So 448 should be more than enough to maintain a lead. 508 in total. So I will hold on to the tower and the set of all sets for another little while. We'll have to wait and see how next round goes. So there's Ranok and the Hierophant. 452. I think I'll hold back on the Hierophant and play 239. Should still be enough, just about. Maybe not. Oh, we just lost by 2. That's very unfortunate. I did take a risk there. Perhaps it wasn't needed, but what's done is done. So, let's see what the tower is going to boost. One of his cards, so we leave that alone. And we'll go with a 436 hand. I'd say the opponent will be holding onto most of his good cards for the next round. So I will try to do the same and only play some boost cards this round. So I'd say 343. The opponent is playing 3 cards. So maybe he's going to try and go for the win this round. We'll have to wait and see. We do have our set of all sets building up in the hand. Getting quite powerful now at the moment. There is the Grim Reaper doing the last bit of damage it will do. So ideally I would want to hold onto the tower, but I'm not sure what the opponent will play. It's a good job I didn't take the risk that time. So we have round 4 in the bag. Our energy is running a little low, but set of all sets is at 1 cost at the moment, and there's our Door to Hell as well. So I think I'll just go all out with a 587 plus the boost to all of our science and arts and culture cards for the rest of this round. So we have a 440 lead, which hopefully will be enough to win the game. So I will play our strongest cards for 415 plus the boost from Identity Theft. So 475 in all. So I think all we'll need is a 300 or 400 turn next turn just to guarantee the game. We're nearly 500 in the lead, so I don't really see the opponent coming back, but you never know. So that's a 427 and 543. The opponent was able to do a massive turn, but it just was not enough. So we'll give him a good game. A very interesting deck from the opponent. I would love to see a deck list. But we did win in the end. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think of the deck down in the comments. And I'll catch you next time. Cards everywhere, out.